Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming back and thanks for being here, honestly, for our first episode. And it's really awesome that we call the first episode The Startup. And today is our first episode. Ironically, The Startup. I'm Joseph and I'm here with Andre, and we're here to talk about inspiration.
That's right.
So, our first point, Andre, the startup. What are we going to talk about? Getting up and going and doing it. The hardest part is taking action.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Yes, because obviously you can go through a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of research, whatever you need to do to get going. But if you actually don't implement it, you actually don't take action on it, all of these things are going to be in vain. So
Absolutely. So, whatever it is that you need to go out and do, whether you want to shed a couple pounds, you want to become the next best artist, you want to have an amazing relationship with your partner, or you want to have that dream job, none of those things are ever going to come to fruition if all you do is think about them and you never take action towards it. So, Andre and I have been talking about starting a podcast for just over 2 months now. And today was the first day that we decided to take action. And I'm not saying that we haven't taken action before, but today was the day that we were ripe enough that our fruits were ready to come up with this. So, what was the hardest part, Andre, in honestly doing this?
well, taking the actual time and the decision to do what you like doing. There's a lot of different things out there, and a lot of people get caught up in what I call, that shiny object syndrome, where, you have something that you really enjoy, but then, you go on YouTube or you go on Google and you find the next best thing that, really deters you from actually following what you truly like because, it makes you more money, or, it promises you all these different things. So sure enough, you leave the old thing behind and you jump onto the new thing. And you do this basically until nothing gets done, So, yeah.
So, yeah, like you just said, they literally think about it and think about it and think about it. And while they're thinking about it, nothing's getting done. Nothing's actually happening. Nothing's coming to fruition because they haven't taken the first step. So, why are Andre and I doing this podcast? First of all, we're doing this podcast because we talk about exactly what we're talking about right now to each other every single day. Like maybe I'm Andre's hype man, maybe Andre's my hype man. Maybe we call each other every single day just to let each other know that, yeah, you're going to have those shitty days, but you're working towards something. And that's more than 90% of the people out there. So ideas are just that, ideas. It's breaking that mold and breaking free from that idea that, you know what I mean? That grand idea is worth $1 million. Well, guess what? Nobody believes it's worth $1 million. You need to earn that. You need to go out and achieve the things that you want to achieve. So, Andre, can you just give the audience a quick example? I hate to put you on the spot, but give them an example of something that was really hard for you to just sit down, shut up, and tell that mind or tell that voice in the back of your head to stop and just do it, regardless of the result.
Well, as you noticed, me and Joe are both not nearly, as any professional speakers that you will hear on any other podcast. We're just two average guys that are, just sort of took action on starting a little thing. You know what I mean? You have to realize that all these grand schemes, I shouldn't call them schemes, but all these grand ideas that people had or have, and they're presenting you with that, number, call it 500K, call it, a million. Those are ideas that have been developing for years and years and years at it, like already. Those guys don't just start and hit that, big jackpot and start out with $1 million, bucks. They start off with very small, little ideas and implement them on a daily basis. So I've always been really good and passionate about working out. So that is what I like to do. So my morning routine, for example, is getting into a habit of doing something that will benefit myself on a daily basis. That can be anything from literally going for a walk, uninstalling applications that you have on your phone that are not doing anything good for you, such as, useless games or any distractions that you might, can get rid in your life that might help you to put that extra hour, put that extra even half an hour into something that you enjoy doing. And that is taking action. That is going from a basic idea that you might had sitting in the back of your head for years, months at a time, and actually putting action into it. Nowadays it is easier than ever. All you really need is a phone, laptop, and an internet connection, which is basically anywhere anyone has that access handy to them. It's a matter of you taking advantage of it. So,
But also, that being said, you having an internet connection and you having a phone in front of you don't make you think that that is, the one all solve all. That could actually be your distraction. So today, Andre and I have given you our 2 cents. We've given you our 10 minutes of motivation. And what we challenge you to do now is to go and break one bad habit, that habit of overthinking, or that habit of saying, I'll go to the gym tomorrow, or I'll work on my goals tomorrow, and break it and do it today.
One thing I also found is really useful, and you can also implement it, is starting to have people in your life that you can communicate daily, semi-daily, or even once a week that will give you positive influence, just like me and Joseph do. When I have a bad day, or the crypto market is off the chain and I'm not entirely sure, I call Joseph, and just hearing that familiar voice really helps me get into perspective and helps me get my day started, because I see somebody that is trying to achieve something and I'm just sitting there not doing anything. That really puts me in a bad spot, and that really motivates, that gets my fire going inside of me, that tries to get something going for that day. Do you know what I mean? That's all it takes, just those little tiny little actions. It can be anything from a 5 to 10 minute to half an hour at the gym. They don't have to be very much.
Likewise. So subscribe, share this content if you know somebody that needs to hear this. And like Andre said, we're going to leave it at that. Go light your fire.
That's right. And I challenge you to do exactly what we're doing. Start a podcast. Get us involved in it too. See how far you can take your passion, your interest. Whatever you want it to do is literally a grasp away. All you have to do is reach for it. That's all it takes.